Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another video. This is on breathing. Now, if you ever have trouble breathing to your opposite side, then this video might be the way that you can fix it. So here we're going to look at exactly what you can do in your freestyle to make sure that you can comfortably breathe to the side, make sure that you don't over rotate, and also make sure that you're not missing the catch because you're breathing too late. So here we're going to look at two examples. We're going to look at two different ends of the spectrum. So in this first video, we're going to look at a swimmer who has more of a catch-up style of stroke. So this is Solomon Wright, who won the Rottnest Channel Swim. He has more of a catch-up type of freestyle, and he's a distance swimmer, an open water swimmer. And you'll see here that as he takes his breath, the hand that's extending out in front stays out in front for quite a while. And his head turns back into the water just as he's finishing the catch phase of his stroke. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is a swimmer with a much higher stroke rate than Solomon. This is Sharon Wendel, world champion for the female 10K. So in this video, you can see that she has a very high turnover and she pulls through a lot sooner than he does. But you'll also notice that her head turns back just before the arm passes the shoulder or passes underneath the shoulder. So they're the two different ends of the spectrum in terms of the timing of the breath. Now, it doesn't matter where you fall within that spectrum as long as you stick within that. Now, one of the things that I see causes people to either mistime the breath or really lose their catch out in front is if they go down too deep with their arm through that first phase. So as they're entering the water, they'll then go down deep without extending forwards, or they'll over rotate, which will cause them to go very deep and straight with that arm, and they'll pull through too soon. By the time that their arm is already past their shoulder, the head's turning back. So the goal here, or the way to really make sure that you're doing the right thing to allow you to breathe to both sides very comfortably, is just make sure that you have an extension phase of the stroke. So the extension phase is once the hand's entered, when you're reaching forwards. Now, it's counterintuitive to think you should actually extend forwards in the stroke. You would think that you're just better off getting straight into the catch. But the thing is, the fastest point in your stroke is actually when you're reaching forwards with one arm and the other arm is pressing back past the hip. That's the fastest point in your stroke because that's when you are creating the least amount of drag. You're in the best position possible. The slowest point in your stroke is actually just after you finish your catch phase, when the hand is pretty much directly underneath the shoulder. That's because it creates the most drag. Now, it's obviously a relevant part of the stroke, but the fastest point in the stroke is when your hand is reaching forward out in front. So it's important to make sure that you do extend or slide the hand forwards before you start tipping the fingertips down. That to me is really one of the keys to making sure that you can fairly comfortably get the breath on both sides. So what I will often see with swimmers who are having trouble breathing to their opposite side is they'll have their hand go straight down too deep in the water and they won't have the extension. So just make sure that you include that in your stroke to be able to get that breath comfortably to the other side. Now, often to start to make these changes, if you feel like you go down too deep too early, a good way to do it is to exaggerate that aspect of the stroke. So I had a swimmer a couple of months ago who was really struggling to get the breath in time. Her head was still out of the water by the time her arm had come underneath her shoulder. So what we did there was two things. We made sure we exaggerated how long she was extending for. So we really slowed down that glide or that extension phase. Now, it was still sort of a drill. I wouldn't get her to swim like that normally, but it was a good way to just get her to make sure that she was extending long enough. The second thing I got her to do was to get the breath very early compared to what she was used to. So I got her to, when the hand entered, turn the head straight away, get the breath as quickly as she possibly could, and turn the head back in. So just getting that breath really soon compared to what she was before. Now, again, it's still a drill. We're always going to come back from that, but it's a really good way just to start to change that motor pattern that you've currently got to veer more towards the motor pattern that we want. So those two things really helped her make a change in her breathing, and it helped her also improve her catch under the water because her head wasn't out of the water while she was trying to get that good catch. So that's one really effective way to make sure that you can breathe comfortably to both sides. Make sure you extend forwards for long enough, and also just make sure that the head's turning back into the water at the very latest by the time the arm is just about to pull through past the shoulder. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to do another one on breathing because I know it's important to a lot of you when you're swimming, And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. We're very close to 100,000 subscribers. That'd be really cool to hit. So if you could support the channel just by subscribing below, that'd be wonderful. And also just make sure you comment below. Let me know what videos you'd like me to do for the next couple of weeks. About to be heading to Thailand to our Hell Week camps over there. We've got 2 camps running, and we've got about 20 swimmers coming along to both. So it's going to be an awesome time, and I'll do my best to make some videos while I'm over there and just show you what it's like and show you what it's like to come on a training camp with us. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.